Okay, so I love The Boys, I love Gen V, I love the whole franchise, but these are two of my favorite shows, by the way. But this show, The Boys, at least has massive plot holes that really shakes up the entire foundation of it. Like, and it's kind of ridiculous. Okay, so let's start with this. Vought is a pharmaceutical company. This is what Stan Edgar told Homelander. Not a movie studio, not a PR firm, a pharmaceutical company. And what do pharmaceutical companies do? Yeah, they sell drugs. They create dependence and they squeeze every dollar out of patients and governments. That's the business model and it's highly successful. It works. Trust me, this is working. So when the writers introduced Compound B as a drug that grants permanent powers, you'd expect Vought to handle it differently, right? From a real world perspective of what would a big pharmaceutical giant do? They would build repeat sales, they would patent it, they would hook governments, and you would create a revenue stream that never ends. But instead, this show wants us to believe that the best move was to become a movie studio and brand superheroes like Hollywood actors, make movies and build Instagram followings. This is like discovering cold fusion and deciding, let's get a TikTok channel going. And it's not satire, this is kind of lazy writing dressed up as wit. So let's get down to brass tacks on this one. Like the Super Babies cover story, this doesn't even work. This doesn't even make any sense. Like this is a cute idea, but it's really impossible to believe for a couple of reasons. Like, and I'm gonna get into it, right? It's to scale this. You have decades of injecting babies with millions of doses. This is thousands of doctors and nurses, countless paper trails, countless. Somebody talks. Pharmaceutical companies get leaked every year in real life, and you have no patent. You have no like FDA approval for any of this. So you're moving a completely illegal drug that you're soliciting parents openly that, hey, give your kid this, right? Like none of that sounds crazy. And then if all these kids all of a sudden start getting powers all over the place, right? Sprout laser eyes. This isn't divine intervention. This is, come on, man. This is drugs. And, scientists, governments, like everybody, conspiracy theorists will be all over this stuff. Like none one of these kids left a blood sample. Nobody went to a different doctor, had a car accident. There's so much stuff there. And then let's be real. This is a pharmaceutical company, but all of a sudden you guys are finding all these miracle babies, right? Okay, first of all, what are you doing looking for miracle babies when you make pharmaceuticals? This is flat out dumb. If a pharmaceutical company starts introducing superpowered humans, I think the mass public would automatically say that that's drug related. No one would believe the idea of these super babies. That doesn't even make any sense, especially for a company that's supposed to be so intellectually smart and ruthless. And then here's the real deal. Like this is going to get right to the guts of this. Like real corporate power play is addictive power. That's what real pharmaceutical companies do. So permanent powers are absolutely terrible idea. If I sell you a permanent miracle once, I lose you as a customer forever. There are no repeat sales, no reoccurring revenue, no leverage. So a corporation would really do is design Compound B initially to be addictive, unstable, and time limited. You're going to need monthly boosters. If you miss a dose, your powers fade, or you mutate into something else. And now I own you.
Gotcha, bitch.
This is like, all you got to do is look at how real pharmaceutical companies treat insulin or opioid addiction. It's a maintenance drug for life. That you don't make permanent cures for nobody. Like they would start off realistically selling you like starter doses or stabilize, whatever it is, elite boosters. Like we see how it is. We see it even in gaming where you want to keep adding stuff to make your character better, right? So this is why the 7 with permanent powers doesn't make sense, because it leaves a huge gap. Like think about this. Like every baller isn't in the NBA. You can go play overseas. You can join different leagues. You can get rich without ever touching the spotlight. So if you have permanent powers and 1,000 corporations or governments or billionaires are out there willing to sign you money, why would I change myself to Vought Circuits? It doesn't make any sense. Like the 7 isn't glory, right? Like, yeah, you get the top level of glory, but it's actually hell. It's a PR nightmare. I'm sure people talk about it. You're micromanaged, you're branded, you get humiliated all the time. You're forced to play nice with psychopaths and sell toys to kids. The contracts are slavery with capes. Like, what does Black Noir get out of being in the 7? I'm just being real about it. You don't talk to people, so what are they giving you that makes whatever you got to do worthwhile for them? Like, you're not in any movies at all. So if the powers are permanent, no one in their right mind would stay inside this Vought cage. Homelander doesn't need Vought. They're like, oh, my contract's almost done. Why would you? You're a psychopathic murderer. Why are you honoring a contract? You went back and killed all the people that tested on you while you got your powers. This is the same company. This is literally the same company, but you're holding to some contract. Like, maybe you hate it there. You don't need Vought. A-Train can be making more money from Nike than Vought. I mean, like, all kinds of deals. So the only way that the 7 actually makes sense is if Vought controls the supply. If Compound V is addictive, then all of a sudden it clicks. You join the 7, you're guaranteed stability, lifetime supply, legal immunity, and PR protection. You quit and you risk losing your powers, mutating, or getting legally crushed. Now, people would really kill to get into that. Not for fame, but survival. Look, if I have a phone and superpowers, trust me, my Instagram account will pop. My TikTok account will be popping if I got powers. That's just what it is. So it's just a real missed opportunity that I think they're kind of assigning as clever satire, but it's just a missed shot. I love everything else about the show, including their character development, but I think they need to be honest that corporations really do sell dependence. They own the regulators. They buy whistleblowers. Like, life-saving drugs get turned into lifelong, subscriptions, and that's really what they do. And this version will be both very believable and very brutal. So instead of super babies and a permanent miracle serum that makes no business sense at all. So again, I'm a huge boy fan. I can't wait for Gen V to start tonight, right? So I'm going to be watching. But let's stop pretending that weak storytelling is like genius satire. And it's the foundation that no one will believe these natural-born superheroes instead of this drug that you created. And the soups will crawl into Vought's hell voluntary. So this is one of the biggest plot holes in an otherwise very sharp story. This is a real horror story that, I think could be sharper and crisper if they had taken those components of Compound V as addictive, corporate control, and the 7 as this nightmare contract you take because you don't have a choice, not because you're like, oh, I want to be in the 7, and that's that whole thing. Yeah, we're a pharmaceutical company, and here's our movie division. Like, it doesn't make any sense. But anyway, I'll be watching the show tonight.